Still on New Year's Eve festivities, I'm joined now by Inspector Keshvi Nair, who speaks for the National Council of SPCA, is looking into the safety of animals during this period of wild noises. A very good evening to you, Keshvi. Thank you so much for joining us. As everyone gets all excited and, makes room to ensure that the fireworks display is indeed spectacular, the animals maybe suffer the most. Talk to us about exactly what the sounds translate into when the animals hear the fireworks.
Good evening, Import. Thank you so much for having us. Well, I think the first thing that needs to be taken into consideration is the fact that animals hear sound at a much higher level than we do. They have a more acute sense of hearing, and they're very sensitive to sound. So what may sound like a balloon popping to us may sound like an explosion to them. And what's worse is that they don't have the advantage of being able to understand what exactly is going on. So when they hear these loud bangs and they see these bright flashes, what it can be translated as or recognized as by the animals is a threat or danger. And that then puts the animals into fight or flight mode. And that is where you see animals fleeing for their lives, trying to jump through windows, get through palisades. Sometimes they become a little bit more aggressive to people that they know. So it triggers their fight or flight mode, and that is where we see tragedy occurring with animals. And it's not just our domestic animals, it's wild animals and farm animals that suffer from the terror of fireworks as well.
So what advice would you have for those who are planning on ensuring that they do have these fireworks set off this evening?
Well, I think the first thing is that pet owners need to understand that they have a responsibility towards their pets. We always say that prevention is better than cure. You know that the fireworks are going to go off, so you need to prepare well in advance. And one of the most important things you can do as a pet owner is to ensure that your pet is properly identified by means of a microchip and a collar, so that if, unfortunately, your animal does go missing and is picked up by the SPCA or an animal welfare organization or a Good Samaritan, it will be that much easier for us to reunite you with your pet. Secondly, bring your pet indoors. If you don't do this normally, today especially, you should bring your pet indoors. Don't leave them outside, which is even more exposure to the fireworks and the loud bangs and the bright flashes. And lastly, try and stay home with your pet. You're a source of comfort to your animal. So instead of going out and leaving them to face the terror alone, try and stay home with your pets and bring them into a room such as the kitchen or maybe your bedroom, just to try and keep them calm and be with them. And then to the public at large, I think it just comes down to being a little bit more compassionate and considerate. You must remember that animals don't have a choice. They don't have a say in this, and they depend on us to be that much more compassionate, that much more considerate. And we're telling you that fireworks do adversely affect animals. So if you're hearing this, choose to be a kind person, choose to be compassionate, and rather opt for something more humane. Don't go for fireworks because you know that it's traumatizing for animals.
You say that animals normally get picked up by the SPCA following the night of festivities. What have you experienced in the past in terms of the number of animals you've picked up and some of the challenges that come with that?
Well, over the past couple of years, it's been a trend that around this time, for many reasons, the number of animals that are brought into society increases. It's been like this for a number of years now. Over the Christmas period and the festive period, it's mainly because animals are bought as presents, and then parents realize that they don't want this responsibility anymore, and many animals get dropped off at the SPCA. And around New Year's, it's obviously linked to the fireworks. And the SPCA will never turn away any animal that is brought to us. We do see an increase in animals brought to us. Sometimes we see cases where animals have actually gone through windows or gotten stuck in palisades, and the injuries that they come in with are horrifying. There was a case a couple of months ago where a kitten had actually gone down a drain, and a rescue operation had to go underway in order to get that kitten out of the drain. So we see a number of cases, a number of issues, animals getting themselves into really compromised positions. And it's just all the more reason to stay away from fireworks in total. Everybody needs to be a hero, not just SPCA inspectors, not just pet owners. Everybody needs to be a hero. If you see that there's an animal that's been adversely affected or has strayed away or is stuck in a palisade, pick up the phone the SPCA and call for help. They depend on you to be a hero.
Very well. Thank you so much for that sound advice, Inspector Keshvi Nair of the National Council of SPCA.